This is how normal people greet each other.
Hey, Brian. Hey, Brendan.
This is how newspeakers greet each other.
It's affected every aspect of my life, in every single aspect. Not a day goes by where I don't use Newspeak or think about Newspeak.
Well, it's caused me a lot of pain, actually.
Really?
Yeah, it's a hard thing sometimes, you know, when you try to talk to someone and they tell me I got them.
My name is James Larson. I'm here today to embark on a journey.
It is well known that the Northview High School Jazz Ensemble hosts the most prestigious musicians of the school, but it is also a home to some of the strongest traditions and relationships developed by them. Among these traditions of theme-based parties, goodwill fashion endeavors, and an unfavorable no girls allowed rule, the obsession of the bebop lick exists. The simple six-note progression is one that every established jazzer knows well. When used correctly, it's an effective piece of vocabulary for jazz improvisation. Yet the spirit of the jazz ensemble did not allow for such simplicity. Around the 2013-2014 school year, it was used excessively and inappropriately, in such a manner that it was made a humorous inside joke between the members of the ensemble. This behavior set the attitude amongst the group to one excited for an inside comic relief. Phase 1 Newspeak, though yet to be called such, truly began in the summer of 2014 at the Aquinas College Summer Jazz Camp with one particular meme. This image was presented by James Larson to his friends Brendan Smith and Avon Davis during lunch hour one afternoon, and in their premature sense of humor, the phrase, "Me too, thanks," implanted itself into their vernacular. Now, considering the previous mentioned mannerisms of the jazz ensemble, it's not difficult to foresee that the other members of the group began to use the phrase in the same imbecilic and compulsive manner as those who are now considered the pioneers of Newspeak. And this phrase was all that the group needed. It provided the inspiration for the next awaited common ground of understanding humor. The desire to compulsively retort to any statement or question with, "Me too, thanks," sparked a revolution of language. Soon enough, its usage would become common, followed by a mild chuckle, and the members of the tight group began to desire more. The vocabulary naturally evolved. In the marching band and in the wind ensemble, "In the Mood," among other songs, were constantly played incorrectly with full intent and with the childish and compulsive manner of the language, and the phrase "got me" became part of the dialect. Those that were there in the beginning did not yet know the magnitude of what they had created, not to mention what it would be called. But the pioneers knew one thing: its evolution was not going to cease.
Oh, didn't see you there. Phase 2 Newspeak was born early in the 2015-16 school year, heavily modifying the traditional conventions of Newspeak. The most influential catalysts of the second phase came in the form of my newfound interest in Newspeak and the integration of meme society into our culture. I was taught the basics of Newspeak vernacular before expanding the vocabulary, and we gradually added varying inflections to our speech. In addition to the new phrases, this allowed Evan, James, and Brendan to escalate their actions on Tuesday night jazz at St. Cecilia toward the point of insanity.
Got me! Subway! 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 Subway!
In addition to the chaotic inflections, math class fueled our drive for free speech. Math class became the primary outlet, besides jazz trips, for expressing our common language. The rise of Facebook group chats assisted the constant 24/7 development of Newspeak. This chat, in conjunction with the cut-paste application, allowed us to integrate visual memes into Newspeak. A meme is akin to a joke, but instead of it a setup and a punchline, the meme itself is the punchline, and they often satirize millennial culture. The cut-paste app allowed us to easily Photoshop images with our faces. Returning to the jazz band specifically, Mr. Wells required a small jazz combo, and this created the Wombo combo. Brendan, James, Ham, Benny, Nate, and I rehearsed several jazz tunes, but contemporary jazz wasn't creatively liberating, and the Free Jazz Project was born. We performed original compositions with rhythmic irregularities and harmonic dissonance as a sort of musical Newspeak. We created numerous albums and song covers, applying the cut-paste app in ways never before seen. Meanwhile, Newspeak developed as a coping mechanism in response to copious amounts of homework and difficult assessments. Got Me and Gigi No Read Teacher became common responses to challenging assignments. Times of joy, sadness, and even anger, Newspeak brought us together, but it began to infiltrate most aspects of our lives. Phase 2 culminated in the jazz band trip to Savannah, Georgia. This Gallus affair was a virtual festival of memes and Newspeak, as the jazz band members were forced to interact with each other for nearly a week. The very construct of the jazz band's high council was questioned, but the most legendary meme to date was created.
So guys, this next tune that we're going to be playing for you tonight is called Edgy Teenage Angst. It's a tune recorded by the Northview Wombo Combo just recently, actually. We feel it's a really good way to express ourselves, and it was a lot of fun to record, so...
Toast to Teenage Angst?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Teenage Angst. Alright, gentlemen, we'll let the recording do the talking. Brian? Is it Chardonnay? Yeah. What scale is this? Is this an A minor?
All the notes are blue. That's a nice vocal. Yeah. I'm trying to listen to music.
Another successful year, man.
Yes.
Well done.
Now that we know how Newspeak has evolved, let us analyze how it affects people psychologically. Oh, sorry, I was listening to some math.
Romeo, oh Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo?
Got me! Got me! I don't like it! I don't know what the figure it is!
found some native Newspeakers. Let's try to communicate.
Hey, yo, still there, boy.
Hi there. Oh, yeah. What would you define as free speech?
I don't know what I see this. Some creative algorithms. You come to the groove.
He says it's the truest form of Newspeak. It's completely open and ever free-flowing. It ties to your soul.
How often do you Newspeak?
Vroom, 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 vroom.
He says that every Tuesday night he does with the St. Cecilia Jazz Group, but then he does to unwind as well.
Do you enjoy it?
Subway.
Yes.
What does it do for you?
Some creative algorithms. Subway, eat fresh. Got me. Got you. Got me. No sucrose.
He says it's a really great way to unwind and bond with another person, but it also ties to his soul and helps him find himself.
Is free speech dangerous?
Come on.
He says in the wrong hands. It's a very dangerous, very, very dangerous.
Because of Newspeak, homework is quite a challenge for me. I get deep into whatever it is I'm doing, then suddenly I get an urge to make a meme. Productivity for me has been severely hindered because of this meme culture. Instead of focusing on meaningful work, I find myself focused on crafting delicate and often considered the dankest of memes. Dank meaning thoroughly humorous, of course, in Newspeak terminology. While these memes create short-term happiness and a false sense of accomplishment, they are in fact damaging in the long run. This demonstrates the danger of Newspeak when it begins to consume one's life. Here is an example of a crude meme, which on most levels would not be considered dank to most Newspeak meme critics.
In addition to the relationship with psychoanalytic theory, Newspeak draws inspiration from other literary concepts.
Good on you.
We know now the history and the reason behind Newspeak. It affects tens of people each and every day. Newspeak is what it may be, whether this means sharing a dank meme with a friend or vigorously thrashing about one's arms to convey their angst to another friend. Newspeak may mean many things to individuals, but everyone may agree on one thing. Newspeak is good in that the precious laughs and smiles we exchange with our friends are moments we will not forget. It has touched all of our lives in one way or another, and was formed out of a bond, something that is contrary to many movements of this day and age. Newspeak will balance itself as any other movement, with light upturns canceling out the heavy downturns, such is the way of life in all forms.
It's fun, simple, and quick and easy and helpful sometimes.
Other than that, if it were to stay alive, I would like a completely expanded vocabulary, like maybe like an 8-volume dictionary.
Every Tuesday night we kind of get together and collaborate, and we coin some new Newspeak terms. It's really progressive.
No one knows the future of Newspeak, and it seems hopeless to predict it. Newspeak remains empirical in that remark, and, in probability, that remark alone. Newspeak will simply be.
Alright guys, welcome back to this week's meeting of the book club. This week we'll be reading The Chief by Robert Lipsythe. Let's start up where we left off last week.
Bop!
Popcorn Coal.
Yeah? Solomon looked at us and reached out and tapped me on the shoulder. You must be the fighter. Ponytail's your record producer, Popcorn Evan. You must be a comedian, Snap Sonny. Solomon's eyes stared at that, but Dick shouted, "Look at this, John L." And pointed towards his sound woman who was holding up a TV monitor. Popcorn Brendan. My face filled the screen yelling, "You can't hide us,
Alright guys, that's all the time we have for this week. We'll see you next week at this exact time in Brundon Smart basement.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
JJ, this pizza is sour.
Sour!
Sour!
Sour!